Hello, this is Coach Fulton. Welcome back to the channel. What we're going to be covering today is the rep goal system. The pros, the cons, whether it's worthwhile putting into your training regimen or if it's just something that's a little overhyped and for beginners. But before we do any of that, we have to discuss what is the rep goal system. The first person that I ever saw talk about it was Steve Shaw on his massive iron approach. This guy really kind of brought the rep goal system into the public consciousness, and he has promoted it for many years. The approach really involves simplicity. Rather than doing the traditional sets and reps structure, it just simplifies the whole process through a concept known as a rep goal. So instead of something like 3 sets of 10, you're looking to do 30 reps across 3 sets. This could manifest in something like 12 for your first set, 11 for the following set, and then 7 on your third set. What this does is it equates the volume, but it does kind of dial up your intensity level and doesn't keep you absolutely shut in to undershooting reps on early sets and then perhaps overshooting in later sets. The intensity levels a little bit higher and seems to kind of work within the framework of chasing something that we would call an effective reps model, which is just your proximity to failure on each set. So here is how it works. Essentially, in your program, you would give a rep goal to each individual exercise that you're trying to perform, and that rep goal can be different based on preference, outcome, and just kind of how high you want to go with your reps. When you hit the high end of your rep goal, you can basically move up. What I mean by that is essentially if you set your rep goal as 30 and you hit 30 reps, or you hit 31, 32, whatever, you can then move up on the weight. If you're hitting 27, 28, then it just means that you're to stay on that given weight and just keep chasing those little improvements set to set. It's nice as well because it gives you a level of customizability. You can customize the program kinda as you go. Obviously in the short term you do want your rep goals to stay the same, but you know, if you have a rep goal of 30 for bench press across 3 sets, you can chase that for a while. Maybe you chase it for 3 months or so, and you see those improvements, you know, the increases in weights, the increases in volume as you kind of creep up. But if you find that stops working for you, you can just lower the rep goal, maybe drop it to 20 reps across 3 sets, and then you can kind of chase into those heavier levels of intensity. I know that Steve Shaw specifically is a little bit higher on his repetitions. He kind of really does prefer people to be, you know, doing the 10s and the 12s with given weights, and, you know, 8, 10, 12, rather than, you know, singles, triples and 5s. So he does seem to kind of be a bit more on that side. But I think as a system, it is really kind of leverageable to what your goals are. So the pros of this system: first, it is flexible. You know, you can really adapt based on how you feel in a given day. You know, you can also kind of, if you want to really chase it out on that first set and then maybe like hang back in your middle set, push on with your third set, you can do that. You're just trying to find the way to get to that rep goal. So it is really flexible. I think secondly, this kind of builds from that first point, is it's the simplest form of auto-regulation in a program I've ever seen. And it really lines up well to reality. I think the problem with a lot of auto-regulation approach, you know, take something like 3 sets of 8 at RPE 8. RPE 8 and all that kind of thing is all self-justified, whereas the rep goal is hard and fast. You know, you can see it really simply. You know, are you improving or are you backsliding? and that will give you a lot of answers on what you should be doing with your training. It's a built-in feedback loop that just kind of removes any of that kind of psychological muddying that a lot of people can do in their own programs, where we kind of doubt ourselves or we get too cocky. It keeps you very grounded in reality. Another pro is that I think it works really well as a kind of antithesis to like super high volume programs. A lot of people that do kind of take like the bodybuilding style approach. I know this is a bit kind of power buildy, but it is definitely in the kind of hypertrophic field, this program, or this, I suppose, this system. But it doesn't force you to do volumes that you can't hang with, because it, once again, is just exactly what you're capable of on that day. Lastly, it's very beginner friendly, really easy to start. Kind of works for everyone, though it can be scaled to intermediate and advanced levels just by what I spoke about, by kind of rotating your rep goals. And it's just so simplistic, and it's one of the most simplistic ways of doing periodization that I think I've ever seen. You get a lot of easy indicators of whether you're improving or whether you're plateaued. I think that's something that's really good as well. You've got a real kind of hot button onto your program that you are not having to rely on. I think I look a little bit bigger than last time. I was working at my training max, that's 90% of my 1 rep max, and this week I'm doing 60% for 3 sets of 10, so last week I had only done 55%, so I think this is an improvement. No, it just tells you if you're getting better or not, by once again grounding you in reality. Of course, no system is perfect. It does have a few drawbacks. Obviously, Steve Shaw, as I had mentioned, does like kind of higher rep goals. It's not anything crazy. We usually recommend something like 25, 30, 35 rep goal kind of thing. That's his kind of main suggestion that I've seen. But I think if you are on that kind of strength field and you're looking to do something like powerlifting, this probably is a good off-season program. But if you're preparing for a comp, it just isn't for you. The reason for this is that if you're on a kind of really low rep goal and you're trying to train for like 1 rep max strength, doing like 3 sets with a rep goal of 10 is probably just really bad for your kind of recovery levels. I think you are probably a lot better off doing one of those kind of more relaxed reps and reserve style programs, or doing one of those kind of percentage of your 1 rep max style programs. I think this kind of style of auto-regulation doesn't really apply when you kind of take it down into those lower volumes, because I just think the level of like systemic fatigue that you would come up against would just be too much for it to be worthwhile. Whereas I think with something like powerlifting, you would need a lot more kind of lower percentage skill work, which is just not seen within this system. So I think this program is actually really good for your kind of average lifter, 90% of the gym population, to be honest. If you're looking to get a bit stronger, you're looking to put on size in a really kind of consistent long-term way, I think this is the way to do it. But obviously if you have sport-specific goals, or you have like, powerlifting specific goals, this one won't be for you. So I've got to say my personal take and approach on this is a resoundingly positive one. I actually used a rep goal system during COVID, so I know that's probably not the best environment to compare it to, because I was kind of training in a vacuum. It was lockdown and I was just training with the equipment I've got in my house, and the rep goal system worked very well for me. I think I saw some of my best results. Now, I have to say that definitely could be influenced by the fact that I had kind of created this perfect training environment where the only thing I had to do in a day was train. So there is that. But I really liked the consistency of it. I liked the kind of honesty of the program. That kind of rep goal system, it just works by telling you if you're progressing, and if you're not progressing, you know about it. If you're backsliding, then you can kind of take a step back and be like, am I under recovered? Am I not eating enough? Am I not sleeping enough? There's a lot of good things to say about this program. I think it's super simplistic, it's consistent, and it just takes a lot of the guesswork out of training. And that's always my kind of style of training, I suppose. I really do like stuff like that, that keeps you honest and keeps you close in your proximity to failure. You know, I would say that probably this goes up there for me with kind of AMRAP style training. I do like anything that's, you know, like Grayskull or 531, just any of those programs that kind of really do rely on having your finger on the pulse, a bit of auto-regulation and just training close to failure. So if you want to take the complexity out of training whilst giving a hard effort and seeing good results, I think this is absolutely the program for you. So let me know down below if watching this video maybe made you consider the rep goal system. Even actually in the making of this for myself personally, it has made me want to go back on it. So yeah, let me know what your experience is. Did you like the rep goal system? Have you used it before? Are you curious about trying it? Did you enjoy the video? And if you did enjoy the video, please give the video a like, subscribe so you can see more, and click that bell notification so you can stay up to date with the latest stuff. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.